Hi, my name is Daphne C. and I am a fourth year communications student at the University of Ottawa, and we are currently in a global pandemic for the coronavirus. And so I'm currently taking political economy of the media just to understand a little bit more of how this world works and how the economy works. And so I decided to actually focus my research on social media influencers, specifically in the lifestyle category. And so I posed the research question of how does the lifestyle portrayed by social media influencers divert my attention from real world political issues? I chose this research question because I personally spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos of lifestyle influencers, and I've actually followed many of them for years. And over time, I've actually noticed that the influencer industry is very materialistic and capitalistic as a whole, and I wanted to see how their content might affect the way I live my personal life. And so I've noticed also that my interest in politics and social issues continues to grow and shape the way I think. And so with the influencer industry growing, my goal is to kind of unpack the positive or negative perceptions that I might already have and continue to consciously observe them during my research. So I actually found the easiest way to gather my data was to actually go about watching my YouTube videos like I normally do, just because I wanted to make sure that my data collection was true to what I realistically watch. So I limited my scope to mostly just YouTube, since I primarily just consume content from YouTube over other platforms. And I just noticed that it would be a lot more difficult to narrow down my analysis if I was analyzing content from multiple different platforms. So to analyze my data, I just looked at my field notes and I made a note of what each note had in common in relation to my research question. And so I broke it down into 5 different categories. I noticed that there was a theme in lifestyle portrayal, there was a theme in consumerism and capitalism, there was a theme of social class issues, discussion of issues among influencers specifically, and a personal connection to each influencer. And in my notes, I went through each of the field notes and I highlighted the common words or phrases that discuss each of these 5 topics and manually gather the information in my coding chart, just because I noticed that a lot of my words are kind of everywhere, and I thought it'd be easier to just know the context of what I'm talking about and just manually highlight it, even though it took a little bit more time and it's probably not as accurate as using a coding technology. I just wanted to make sure that what I was coding was accurate and true to what my research stands for. So something that actually was very surprising in my research was that a lot of the lifestyle influencers that I typically follow, and actually do not typically follow but I have heard of previously, have been a lot more politically vocal than I expected. I think one of the biggest factors of this was probably because 2020 has just been a crazy year with so many issues that has happened, like the coronavirus pandemic and all the little things that have occurred with that, like the masks issues, like just all the protests and stuff, the Black Lives Matter movement, and also the US presidential election. I think those 3 are the biggest contributors to YouTubers or influencers speaking out more. And I've noticed there are some like influencers that do speak out on it, but probably vaguely address it just to stay relevant. But for the most part, I have noticed that a lot of these influencers really do care about a lot of these issues and are passionate about them as well. So that was really nice to know. My research journey is important in this case because I am essentially a consumer of influencer content. I love lifestyle influencers, and I feel like if someone's job title has the word influencer in it, they should be able to influence me in some way, shape, or form, especially in political and social issues. If they speak out on it, I should be able to reflect my views on it, or I should be able to critique my views on it. So I wanted to see how their content would affect me positively or negatively. Especially because these influencers are in some way shaping culture in society, and so I feel like it is important to see with the growth of this industry how it might affect the future generations as well.